What's up everybody, it's Simon from Lake Hub. Today we're doing a campground review of Beavers Bend State Park in southeastern Oklahoma on Broken Bow Lake and the Lower Mountain Fork River. So Beavers Bend State Park is one of the original Oklahoma state parks. It was built in the 1930s, part of the Civilian Conservation Corps projects. And let me tell you what, as far as natural beauty, as far as variety, as far as stuff to do, it's hard to beat this place. This is an awesome campground. I can't tell you how much I love this place. Interestingly enough, Beavers Bend State Park is not named for the animal. I just learned this. It's named for a guy named John Beavers. Isn't that funny? I just assumed it was the animal. I mean, I think everybody assumes it's the animal. There's a guy named John Beavers. I just thought that was weird. There's two parts of the state park. There's the lake part and then the river part. The river part is below the dam and the spillway on the Lower Mountain Fork River. That's where I'm at right now. You see it right behind me. It is a gorgeous river. It's a fairly slow moving, very fishable, kayakable, canoeable river. There are sections where there are rocks and rapids and all that kind of stuff, and you can't float and it's dangerous to wade. Once it gets down into the camping area, it's big loopy bends like this, real wide, and just awesome. So there are several hundred campsites in total just within the state park. On the riverside, downstream from the lake, there are 4 dozen places you can rent, like cabins, small cabins, big cabins, right on the river, off the river, and on the mountainside, yurts for, you know, if you're into glamping, you know, that sort of thing. So there are dozens of places to stay within the state park if you don't have a camper, and if you do, there are places with, you know, 50 amp hookups, 30 amp hookups, and then a lot of dry camping. In fact, if you want the best spots in the park, both on the lake and on the river, if you want the waterfront spots, the scenic spots, the really cool spots, you got to tent camp. That's the way to go. Right now we're out here in the fall, and this is the best time to camp here. It is just gorgeous. It's like 70 degrees during the day. Leaves are starting to turn, so it's pretty, the water's cool, and it is just an absolute gorgeous time to camp down here. If you like fishing, there is no shortage of fishing in the state park. On the lake, you have largemouth, smallmouth. If you're gonna get out on a boat, you can even catch some walleye, pike. If you're on the river, it's stocked with rainbow trout. There are native brown trout, and there are kind of semi-native rainbows that have started reproducing over the years. So they were stockers originally, but now they're breeders. So there's kind of a mix of everything, and fly fishermen love fishing the state park in the river. It's really one of the kind of closest places to the prairie land that you can get a true trout fly fishing kind of mountain river experience. So there's a lot of people that come in from the prairie land, Oklahoma and Texas, even Arkansas, Louisiana. There's even a fly shop in the state park, right over there, right on the water. So if you need to gear up, if you want to stop in and kind of, you know, shoot the breeze, get a little intel before you hit the water, gotta love a good fly shop, right? So each section of the park and each section of the river has its own kind of character. There's these kind of rapids and pools and stuff up by the spillway. There's no camping up there, but once we get into the camping, you know, this section right here, there's a canoe rental service that'll trailer you up, and then you put in and you float all the way around this whole bend, and then you end at the kind of canoe area down here right behind me. There's also a designated swimming area. Now you can wade, you know, you can wade in most of this river. Most of this river upstream from the hydro dam, because there is a hydroelectric plant in the main dam, and it'll suck water up from the river and then put water back in the river. So where that puts in, and then downstream from there can be actually really dangerous to swim. Swimming's not allowed, boating, kayaking, and all that kind of stuff. Wading is not allowed downstream of there. And there will actually be like a siren that goes off when the hydro plant's about to release. Sounds like a tornado siren. That's the only, I would say that's the only funky part about staying here, is that sometimes you hear a siren throughout the day. You know, it's just kind of part of the park. It's part of enjoying recreation that's also right next to a power plant. But there is the spillway that bypasses that whole area, and that's where most of the water recreation, in fact, that's where all the water recreation takes place. There are, in the riverside, there are 8 distinct campground areas. They're named alphabetically, and they're all very different. They have different amenities, they have a different views, they have, you know, different waterfront access, and you know, different camping styles. I mean, there's the ones that are further to the south are going to be for your bigger rigs. They're more like kind of flat level pull-in type spots, rather than, you know, this tent camping area that's right behind me, which is kind of wild and woolly, you know. So if you're more the adventurous type, you like to tent camp, then go to the north end of the park. And if you've got a big rig, I mean, you'll know pretty quickly when you're going to book it, book your campsite, that you're limited to the south end of the park. And in the middle is kind of where all the cabins and yurts and all that kind of stuff are. Now on the lake side, closer to town, is going to be where your RV pads and, you know, big hookups, 50 amp service, 30 amp service, are going to be. And then all the tent camping is all around all the points that are basically all around the marina. So kind of in and around the marina, where all the boat ramps are, where all the public boat ramps are, that's where all of your tent camping is. And I mean, you're just shorefront. Like almost every spot is just shorefront, which is really, really cool. I mean, just to be able to have that on a lake, you know, especially a beautiful lake like Broken Bow Lake, is really, really great. As far as restrooms and amenities, I would say they're what you'd expect from a state park, and also they're improving. I mean, every time we come out here, there's something new. There's a new bridge, there's a new access, there's a new beach area, new parking area. There's a new, just right up the hill here, there's a new restroom building. So there's definitely, you know, state funds going into this place and making it better every single year. Every year that we've come out here, and I mean, I've been to this park probably a dozen times. I really, really like this park. Every time I come out here, there's something new. There's even like a restaurant. It used to be a little convenience store. Now it's actually a restaurant right on the water. There's stuff for the kids. There's like a train ride, a little mini train, right? And it goes through the woods. It's really cool. So if you're itching for a little outside adventure, come and visit Beavers Bend State Park on Broken Bow Lake and the Lower Mountain Fork River in southeastern Oklahoma. You will not be disappointed, I promise you. Start your planning at brokenbowlake.net. I'll put the link down below. I'm Simon from Lake Hub. We'll see you on the water.